One, go.
Hi everyone. Few years back, I had an interesting discussion that I wanted to share. We analyzed and found solutions to some business problems ranging from operations to employee engagement and even reviewing people. You might be thinking what kind of magical brainstorming we are doing, right? This magic is called design thinking. This approach to real world problems just feeds into the kind of curiosity that we had as children. But the level to which it refines your problem solving, even CEOs are using it. So without further ado, today's budding CEOs can go ahead and introduce themselves. Which team would like to go ahead with their introduction?
Okay, so we will go first. Aisha, can you share the slides?
Wait, Shanaz, we're doing the introductions right now. Everybody kindly introduce yourselves.
Okay, our team is Fit Future Think Tank, and our team has come up with a design thinking approach that will understand the problems that are faced by obese children and find a solution for the root problem.
Okay, Shanaz, you may introduce yourself first, then we'll go into the pitches. Okay, your role and what do you do in your organization and your name?
Okay.
And yeah, that.
I'm a part of 12th Wonder, currently working as an Android developer. And over to my teammates.
Hello, my name is Aisha. I am currently working as a content writer at Pratva.
Hello, I'm Riddhi. I am currently working as a Learning and Development Research Fellow with Deep Thought.
Hi, I am Anaya. I work as a UI designer at Deep Thought.
Hi, Hinglaj here, working as a growth hacker in Deep Thought.
Hello everyone, I'm Sabina. I'm working as a software developer at Vishwakarma.
Right. Would coaches like to go ahead?
Hello, my name is Aryan, and I'm the coach for Team Fit Future Think Tank, and I'm in grade 8.
I'm working as research developer here in Deep Thought. I'm good for TVC.
Yeah. Hello everyone. This is Saurabh. I'm working at Deep Thought as a customer relationship manager. Thank you.
Hi everyone, and I'm Samida, your moderator for today, and I'm a psychologist at Deep Thought. So which one of the teams would like to tell the idea behind their team name? Okay, yeah.
So our team name is Team Ease Living. So we are helping others to live in ease without having any problem or issues with regarding their furniture.
Thank you, Hinglaj. Would Fit Future Think Tank like to go next? Why you named yourself as Fit Future Think Tank?
Yeah, so a lot of children, face the problem of obesity. So we're just trying to, help them think towards fitness, and it can probably help them deal with a lot of problems in their future. So that's why we thought of Fit Future Think Tank.
That's a great idea. Yes. So which stream would you like to go first with your pitches?
Yeah, we would like to go ahead.
Sure.
Sabina, can you please share the screen?
Yeah.
Hello everyone. We are Team Ease Living. and we are following design thinking to create to ideate our business into real life. In the design thinking, we have empathy to think, like the problem statement we came up, like what empathy we have. So people who are struggling to search like good quality furniture, and sometimes what happen, people do change their cities for a very short term time period. They want a good furniture for short term. So how, like, they are in a situation that they cannot buy, but they still want a good furniture. So let's take, for example, let's take Sam. Sam is like, he had gotten job assignment for 1 to 6 months. He is opting for a short rent term, and he wants to choose like he wants some furniture for short term, so that he can easily afford that furniture, and he doesn't have any hassle to maintain, or to reallocate it, or to shift that furniture from one city to another. Next slide, please. So the problem statement is the whole thing of buying a furniture is not very first of all, not like, it's not easy to buy. It's not it's not affordable to buying a furniture every time you switch cities, and the maintenance is very high, because when you switch cities you have to shift the furniture from one place to another, and carrying that furniture from one place to another is also an hassle, and it's very costly. And need changes, like for example, if sometimes what is happening, that uh, when we change our homes, the area also changes, the room size of the room also changes. We have to buy the furniture according to the size of uh, home we are shifting to. So these are the few problem statements, and uh, we define this problem state. Okay, so we define this problem statement how we are defining this, that for a short period of time they can rent, how they can have that furniture for short period of time. Like, can we move to next slide? Need finding and diagnosis. So people who are living in a temporary arrangements, they also want temporary solution for furnitures, right? So it should be affordable, low maintenance, easy to reallocate, and lot of preferences according to size and other distinct features according to their home and area. Next slide, please.
Okay, I will take it from here.
Thank you.
Okay. So we already have many companies like for Danso who, where we can rent furniture, appliances. They provide many features. And we also have another company called Fabrento. So they also have features like relocation assistance, trial period, and they also provide, like, we have a disadvantage of these companies, like they provide bad customer service and etc. I will move to. So in the ideating stage, we are helping individuals like students or professionals to help rent their home essentials, and so many individuals find it difficult to maintain the product. So we are providing that also. That is our actually idea. And we are also providing Space Kit. So what it does, it actually provides the 360-degree view of the whole product. You can actually view in your phone how the product actually looks. And we also have AI design, where you can see the product in your space, in your phone, like how actually the product will be in your house.
Can you please wrap up your pitch faster?
Can you please?
Wrap up your pitch faster in next 10 slides.
Yeah. Okay, I will now talk about the prototyping. So in the prototyping, we are actually connecting, like we are building a community where people can actually buy new products. Like they have a feature to they have a feature to rent their own products, which they have. And we also get a personalized view of the product. Like each customer can interact the various feature of the product or of their own preference. And again, we can, we have an option for maintaining the product of the various, so it becomes hard for us to maintain the product. So we provide a service for maintaining the furniture, appliances, etc.
Okay, from now I will take your implementation. So we tend to buy the product from the individual or even allow them to rent on a platform. Second, if they need any maintenance or repair service for their products, we will provide that. And at last, we will rent our products to the potential users who wants to rent them. Sabina, for next slide. Yeah, so learning, we got to know that renting industry, how big is our renting industry, then how individuals face challenges when they try to shift the places they are staying or try to stay for temporary duration. And Savina, next slide. And the conclusion is that people prefer convenience over the ownership. That means that they don't want to take the ownership of maintenance, repairing, or even they want to go for more affordable prices for temporary duration of the stay. Thank you.
That was a very interesting pitch, Team Ease Living. So now I think we can go ahead with the questions.
Okay, I have a question. How is your app different from Furlenco?
So Furlenco is basically allowing people to rent as their sell, and they have the premium model. What we do is we allow if you want to rent your product, we give them platform, or if you want to sell your product to us, like the product you use, like you don't want your fridge, so you will sell to us, and then if any maintenance is required, we will do that, and then we will put it out for rent, or we will give you that platform for renting your product if you don't want to sell it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, you're also providing maintenance services, right?
Yeah.
And you're targeting people who are renting and buying furniture services for a short period of time.
We are not targeting for people who want to buy. We are only renting our products.
Okay. So can you tell me a reason why would they need maintenance services if they're staying for a short period of time?
It depends upon the duration, right? Like if they continued for more than 3 months or 6 months, then if the product gets if there are any problems in the product, because we are also renting, like we are also getting it from someone else, right? We are not buying the new products. So if they need that assistance, we can give it.
So you were buying the products from somebody else and then selling it to your customers, right?
Right, which will technically decrease the cost. So if you go for Furlenco and all, they are buying the original products, right? Like the new ones. So if you buy something new, then cost of renting will be also high, right? If you purchase it from the existing customers or existing users, your buying cost will be less, and eventually we can give them in more affordable price.
Okay. I don't have any further questions.
I do have I hope anybody else has any cross questions. Otherwise, I'll go ahead. So, simple question, like, why did you guys decide to buy the product first and then rent it? Like, wouldn't it just be better to collaborate with that furniture company or like that shop from where you're buying the furniture, and instead of buying and selling again, wouldn't you rather just collaborate with them and you can get the commission and they can sell the product? technically. You will be more of a middleman.
Since we are in an initial stage, of course, for future we will go for this. It's a like we can, of course, we'll go for this. But for the since we are a startup, we don't have that much finances, right? So that's why for initial stage we are going with this. If any other companies like will approach companies, new companies who will who will let us use their furniture for lower price, we will of course.
No,
of
I'm
course,
saying like instead
Oh.
of buying the product, you can just rent it from them also. You can collaborate with them. So you're not giving them any money. You're just directly connecting their furniture to the one who needs it. So in that case, there is no buying money also.
No, with the buying money, we are also providing a service. For example, if someone has a like someone want to rent for example, you are going somewhere for like 5 or 6 months. You have some furniture spared. You want to like give
That's
them for
completely
rent.
fine. That makes sense. But why are you buying from the furniture shop in the first place?
We are not buying from the furniture shop. We are only buying from individuals. We
From
are
the
selling in
Second hand.
individual. Yeah.
That too, are you
Sorry.
also buying or are you renting it? Like you are getting it on rent from them?
We are providing both. That if there are some issues with that, and like slightest issue in some AC, like you need to change that, and that's why they, like, the user don't want it anymore. Okay, he wants to sell it or put in like discard it. But if we can maintain or repair that, we will go for it. That's when it comes with buying. But we are providing them direct renting options, like we being the middleman, like what Samida is asking.
So you're
Okay.
getting the furniture from people who are already using or okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Anybody else, any questions?
I have a question. So, in the scenario of like where you guys are the middlemen, and let's say you've taken from party, you've rented on from party A, and you rent it to party B, and there's a damage caused. Let's say in shipping, or okay, let's say party B, like your end consumer causes the damage. Then, I mean, who will be responsible to pay the owner?
See, all there is always a a certain money kept in initial time period. So if there is a damage, this money will not be returned as a insurance. Even if you are renting a
Okay,
home, they
got
take
your
some
answer,
money.
English. Yeah, yes, Riddhi. Any counter question?
So, like, how much percentage would? Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Have
I'm
you
not sure if you
thought
understood your.
about that?
Could you explain your question a little bit, please?
So, like, you mentioned certain amount, right? So, like, what will be the proportion of it? Like, how much would, be not given back? Like you mentioned about insurance. Can you just like, I think I need some clarity over the insurance thing. Can you explain that? Yeah.
Of course, it depends on product to product, right? Because there if we can talk with the user if there is an electric product or furniture is a wooden product. It depends on the product, its quality, that how much percentage if it's damaged. If the party A is agreed to some amount, if this much is damaged, he will be happy to have that kind of money.
Okay,
This
no,
kind
the
of
question,
free.
English. The question is how much would you take in advance as a security deposit? Yeah, not after the damage, before the damage, like
Okay,
before initially.
before that it will be discussed with party A, and having that mutual discussion will put that insurance amount.
Okay, so so let's say I'm renting it to you, I'm renting it to party B, so I'll be the one deciding it. Okay, yeah.
Decision? Like you can't just leave it up to the person to decide, right? There has to be some kind of market value or something associated with it.
Yes, of course, will not like bear the loss, right? We will keep all these pointers in our hand and then only will set the rates or insurance money.
Okay, I think we can move on with the next question. This is going a little into the financial aspects. Who has the next question?
Okay, so during the benchmarking, you said that other apps they where they lack is that they are not providing the customer service much, and so how are you ensuring that your customer service is is up to the mark to your customers?
So basically, like what we went, like we researched about that and we got in reviews that they don't pick up their calls or they don't provide their proper response or any if there is a maintenance issue or refund issue, that all is not there up to the mark. So we'll provide all that.
Okay, how would you solve that problem? How would you provide that?
See, there will be first refund policy will be there. So they won't be able to, like, they don't have to be worried about that. That customer loyalty point is there. Then, if even like we said that insurance will be there, and if any like inconvenience of the product is there, then we are providing maintenance.
Okay, yeah, I think that sort of answers the question. And this is again going a little bit to the tangent side. So let's move on to the next question. As the question from Team Fit Future.
You said that you have a community service kind of a feature in your application, right? So I wanted to know what is the purpose of keeping a community feature in your application?
How is having a community feature adding to the solution?
Are you saying about a customization feature?
Is there a community feature in your app? Like first of
No.
okay, Aisha, there is no community feature that they are.
That's the next question. Okay, I'll pose a question. How did you guys decide on your target audience, and how exactly did you empathize with them?
We target our audience, people who are renting homes. They need with renting homes without furniture. They need homes, right? If they are renting a house, they are staying for not more than like a year or more, right? So they instead of buying, they will of course go for some affordable options. And people who switch their jobs, switch their job or city, or students, right? They don't have that much salary or pocket money to put that much amount on furniture. So we empathize with them, and they cannot, if they even buy that furniture, the shifting from furniture from one city to another is also an hassle, and a lot of damage can be happened.
Yeah. So how would you empathize with them? Like, what is the process you will follow to empathize with them? How do you understand their problems? Yeah.
Yeah, we understand their problems by creating, by creating the service, take us putting them in putting their needs and their, they don't want to spend so much money and still want a good furniture, right?
But how are you empathizing with them? How do you know they are facing this challenge?
See, we know because we, like, lot of our friends circle is facing them, because nowadays people are not staying in one place for even jobs and even students. So we are surrounded by them. So
Do
that's
you have
how
any
we
data to back your claim?
uh,
Or
yeah.
do you conduct some
I
research to back your claims?
yeah, like I have that users.
Yeah, even we did a small survey, like individually. Ananya did her survey, me did, Sabina did that. Okay, when within our circles and extend to the circles, we asked everyone that if there is a service provided with these features, what are your thoughts on that? So they were
Okay,
feeling
you are
these
talking about a
things.
solution here. We are discussing how do you empathize with the problem in first place, right? This
Yeah,
your
we did survey about what problems they face, like when they shifted from one city to another. That's what she's saying.
okay. I guess many questions can be asked on this aspect if future think tank would like to come in.
Okay, I have a question. Uh, so you're also solving the problem of transportation, right? So if a person is moving from one city to another, they would be facing problems in transporting their furniture. So in that case, when they move in the another city, they would be buying or selling new furniture from your app. Am I
We're
right?
not, no, we are not transporting stuff from one city to another. Within city,
No, I'm talking about the problem statement that, yeah, when a person moves from one city to another, they might be facing problem in transporting their furniture. So you're trying to solve that problem, right? Okay. So instead of renting or buying furniture from you, won't IKEA effect would be a better solution because the transportation becomes easier then. They can transpose those materials at their place and then assemble it. So that would be cost effective, right?
sure. But when you are again shifting back to another city, you have to take that furniture and shift to another city, right? What if some damage happened?
But the risk of damage is also in your case, right? When you're transporting the furniture from one place to the other.
We are only transporting for short distance.
Okay, instead of talking of these operational problems, can we talk about the processes that you can like deploy to solve these problems? Yes, these problem statements are there, but how would you solve these problem statements? Right? That's what design thinking is all about. It's not an operational dialogue, but about processes, right? How would you come up with processes so team is living if you can answer in those aspects and fit future thing if you can ask questions in those lines.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a question. Like during the prototyping stage, what were the key features that you focused on for your service?
We are giving a personalized view to the customer of the product.
How are you doing that?
Okay, so let's imagine you have to buy a sofa, right? So you don't know the sofa will fit in your space. So we are actually providing feature where you can see if the sofa will fit in your space. You can actually view in the mobile. So that does not provide in Furlang or any other software.
Interesting. So, like, what exactly is this app about? Could you explain that a little bit?
Okay, so there's a technology, or I can say a tech stack called Google Arc, where you can view the product in 360 degree. So we can use that technology when we are creating that app.
Okay. Any cross questions to Sabina's answer? Even the coaches, I guess, can ask questions.
Yeah. So you mentioned that community aspect and about the survey, right? That you ask people would they prefer this, but in that wouldn't they not be nice to you and just say the solution is good? So how are you verifying that the people actually need this?
How are you guys validating the answers? Like, how are you making sure that whatever people are giving in the feedback forms, they are actually what they're feeling?
Okay, if they're actually facing that problem, that's why they're sharing their challenges. So why don't we trust them? Like
But
that,
yeah, Ren.
Yeah, like could not they be like just nice to you, or just feel like if somebody is providing it, so I'll just take it.
okay.
Amount of persons feeling good and putting good numbers is like when you're doing a survey, a lot of people will put actual numbers also, right?
Like we are not taking everyone's, opinion, like not individually. We are taking the common pain points.
But then how are you ensuring that you're asking questions to the right people? Like, who are your target for this kind of research?
For example, people like government jobs people or bank people who are working in a bank who are getting transfer very regularly, and college students who are who are renting a place without furniture because it's cheap, right? Full furnished place is much more costly than a furniture less place, right? And like these kind of and college students who are shifting for a college and they are renting places, even for them also it will be a cheaper option.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. So how are you ensuring that these people actually want to try your product and your services instead of just sticking to IKEA or like the known kind of furniture brands?
Because they are costly. If you're buying a new thing, it is costly, and taking that particular like for example, you come from like at your place, every furniture, every piece of furniture you have, right? And you shift to another city for your college, and you go for a furniture less home because it's cheap. And if you buy a new set of furniture in that home, why you will take that like will you take that furniture back to your home place where already you have all those things?
Okay, yeah, makes sense. So like again, where are you guys exactly located geographically? You're going to be online. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible. Geographically, like we are pinpointing some cities, like for example Bombay or metro cities. We are doing a survey, not exactly we have established, we are still in a thinking process, so it cannot be a like a rigid structure, like a solid number, a solid city name to say to you currently. So for future, sure, we will state if there like if we'll pinpoint, of course we will mention in our further process.
Okay, sure. Thank you, English. Thank you, everybody from Team Is Living for yes, Aryan.
Yeah, I'm not sure that question was answered, because like wouldn't overall like human nature people be nice to you? Like wouldn't the data also lie then?
Okay, that is one thing I believe we can ponder on, and there are multiple ways to verify data, which even you guys can look up. But in the interest of time, let's start with the other team. So, Fit Future Think Tank, please go ahead with your pitch.
Okay, so our team has gone with a design thinking approach to understand the problem of obese children and trying to find a solution for their root problem. So while empathizing, we find that the obese children, they already know that they are obese, and they are viewed differently in a society. So while doing this, they have a lack of self-esteem and also a lack of confidence and self-doubt. Next slide. So define the problem statement is that this obesity is hindering them in being more active and more outgoing, and which is important during the development stage of these young children. Next slide, please. Okay, so need finding, understanding what our users really need. So as I said, these obese children know that they are obese, and even the society that they're living in, they are being viewed differently. So it makes them difficult to share their difficulties, experiences, and humiliations to those people around them. So we are providing a space or platform where they can share their difficulties and experiences. And why they need this is obviously that the surrounding, they don't give them the option for this for most children. So the diagnosis is that there are negative assumptions about these obese people that may lead to affecting their self-image. Next slide, please. Over to you, Aisha.
Yeah, these are two of the apps which have little bit similar working than our app. One is Practo. So Practo basically enables you to connect with health professional on the basis of symptoms you have encountered. And Amaha is targeting people facing mental health issues. So these are some of the ideas that we've come up with. One is a platform where children and their parents can share the challenges and insecurities that they face. Other is we will be connecting children and parents with the health professionals. Then we'll be having a short assessment to understand the problems that children are facing and tracking their progress. We'll also show the performance of some children who have shown progress. The other would be providing children with a nutrition and exercise plan based on their requirements. We'll also arrange confidence building workshops, and we'll have a community platform in which children and parents can share their experiences. So we've selected some ideas. So we've gone with connecting children and parents with the health professionals. Showing performance of children who have shown progress with the help of workshops and performance drills. Then a community platform in which children and parents share their experiences and difficulties, and sending customized content to children and parents through WhatsApp based on the problems they're facing. Yeah, over to you, Ritu.
Am I audible?
Yeah, Ritu, you're audible.
So, talking about implementation, the couple of features that Aisha mentioned would be, adding all those features. And for testing, because I mean, when it's an app, it's very important to make sure that, we keep testing it. So first, like initial testing would be done by the internal team of developers. Then we've thought that, we in order to just gather the feedback and there'll be bugs, so in order to solve those, we can also since we'll be collaborating with like the health professionals, we can just ask them to use the app for the time being and help us solve the bugs. That'll be for the internal testing. And then we've found out a few NGOs that also aim at solving the problem of obesity in young adults and young children. So because they have a very good network, we can we can take like their help, and they can just uh, help our app reach to the right audience, so that can help us too. Next slide. Yeah, learning. So while coming up with this idea, we realized that uh, because of the beauty standards imposed by the society, children just have a lot of pressure to look a certain way, to fit in a certain way, and that affects their self-esteem. And it not only affects their self-esteem, but it also like shows effects on their social life as well. So keeping that idea, keeping that thought in mind, we've thought of this entire um we've thought of this app. We're trying to solve that. Yeah, thank you.
Before going to the question box, two simple questions, like what is the problem you're trying to solve, if you can iterate? Fit Future think tank. What is the problem you are trying to solve?
So the initial problem that we thought was the young children, like preteen. Aisha, correct me if I'm wrong. Preteens usually those preteens who are suffering from obesity. So
Okay.
helping them overcome. Obesity, like I mentioned, has a lot of negative effects on their mental health as well. So helping them with that, and yeah, just encouraging them to be a little
Okay.
more outgoing.
Got your answer. So the impact of obesity on the mental health and how we can get out of it. Okay. Yeah. And what is the solution that you are proposing?
Okay, we are creating an app in the initial stage, and we are providing the platform where the children, obese children, can put in their, put out their share their feelings, their humiliations they have faced. So there will be a community that has means who are of the similar nature. So in that community, we will also provide workshops to increase
Okay.
their confidence.
Yeah. Got your answer. Got the answer. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, Samita.
Yeah, no. Any other questions from Team Is Living? Or any cross questions?
So how are you making them comfortable? Like, everyone is not comfortable, even if you see the problems, right? Someone is facing this, but I won't put that problem myself. How are you overcoming that like you can say emphasizing with the user who don't want to share in the community?
In our app, we provide blogs, contents, and we also have, health specialists that will eradicate the way they are thinking to build in the confidence. And it is just that we will make them believe that it is just a matter of time with consistent efforts, and they are also, they are not someone who are to look awkward upon.
I hope that answers your question, and any cross questions? Okay, I have a question. How are you connecting with that sort of a audience? Like, how are you? You have this idea of establishing awareness, but what are the kind of people you're establishing this awareness with, and how are you able to, how are you able to connect with them? How are they understanding your importance?
So, like, to answer the first part of your questions, for now, what have we thought is, because these NGOs, like, there are a couple of 5 NGOs that work in, there are 3 NGOs that work specifically in obesity and 2 in food and nutrition. But their end goal is also to help to solve, to help people with obesity. So as of now, what we thought is that we could collaborate with the NGOs, tap into their network, and because these NGOs are like, they'll have like a huge network is what we're assuming as of now. So tapping into that will give us a huge, like, will give us access to that kind of market. We thought of schools, but I mean, that would be in the later stage, like it'd be a little impossible to go there. Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of like you are establishing that importance in front of, through the nutritionists and all those experts beforehand. And once you are sort of fixing the problem for the people who already are obese, you can move on to schools and like people who should be aware as well. Like
Yes.
other.
Yes, but then in schools, like, we thought about it, but in schools, like, we cannot just target people with obesity. Like, it will add on to the adversity of the situation.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe after a bit more credibility.
exactly. And
Yeah.
we may probably have to open, like, this is a very niche kind of thing. So we may probably have to, change the entire model or the entire dynamics of the idea that we're thinking as of now to, tap into organizations that have such diverse.
That's where design thinking comes in. So great idea. Okay. Yeah, Hinglaj, I think you had a question.
The question was actually that, you are empathizing with, children, that they are like on their feelings, like they are how they are feeling if when because they are obese, right? But
Sorry, can you repeat your question, England?
see, you are empathizing with the pre-teenagers, right?
Okay.
with their obesity. You're
Yeah.
trying to solve that problem, right? You're
Yes.
empathizing with their condition and you're trying to solve that problem.
Yes.
So, but yeah, so the question was that how you are going to encourage them to use your app, or the parents were how you know to connect their parents. But yeah, and I think Samida asked the same question.
Yeah, I think that was already
That's why,
established
yeah, that's
through
what
the
already
nutritionist, but
established.
any other add-ups for that? Okay, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a little add up would be that initially we also thought of, involving parents, because as preteens, I mean, in India, parents do take decisions for them, right? So we thought of involving them, but we're still like dicey on that aspect,
Sure, yeah.
because like the priority is the child. So yeah.
I think the nutritionist is sort of a gateway in that sense. Did anybody else have a question? And I think, okay. Yes,
So,
Sabina.
okay, Sabina.
Do you think ask like including the parents will be beneficial? Because Indian parents, they do look out for the food, right? We don't normally buy from outside. The food is prepared in our home only. So what problem statement, like this is a problem statement, so how you come up with the solution for that?
Actually, once the parent and student, I mean the child is enrolled in our app, what we have thought of as of now is that we will have our nutritionist and health specialist, right? So after that, we will have an orientation session where the nutritionist or the health specialist will convey to the parents that more than telling the children to exercise or to adopt healthy habits, it is better for them to do it, to implement it, and let the child learn from that. So actually we also provide sessions for parents also, means they play a big role in this part of right. So we also have sessions for inculcating that kind of thinking in parents also.
I have a cross question to that, if that's okay. How are you going to get nutritionists interested in this app? Like, why would they want to spend the time to connect through people through this app, because they already have their plans prepared?
Yes, to answer that, actually, we are not having the nutritionist like an employee or something. We are just, we create sessions for them, means after scheduling them. So we are not actually
But it's
having
still
them
a
in our
lot of time and effort on part of the nutritionist, right? So is there any incentive for them?
Yeah, the incentive is we are not actually hiring them, we are collaborating with them. So when the thing is, when the clients go to them, 70% of the money that the client pays will go to them and 30% would come to the app. So major chunk of the money would go to them, and that's one of the incentives that we're planning to keep.
Okay, sure, but won't they just rather use that time for having like high value or high profile patients by themselves? Like, why would they? What differentiates your app in terms of their patients or clients?
I mean, it's a very good question. Thank you for asking that. We did not think on that terms, but now I think of it, I think like to answer what's in it for them, we can actually propose the idea that they'll be addressing not one person. They are nutritionists to help people, right? There's that, at least to some extent, there is that goal. So if they collaborate with us, they will not be addressing one person at a time, but many people. So they'll be making a difference that way. So that can help us probably.
I would like to add to that. I mean, as Riddhi said, that we'll tell them that not only will they get the major chunk of money, but they'll be contributing towards a major cause that is addressing the stigma around childhood obesity.
So it's for the people who are good at their heart and want to do something a little philanthropic. Okay. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. So you said, Shahnaz, that you will give them diet plans and about exercise. So like preteens are not like that excited about the exercise. So, like, how will you encourage them?
Like the app is for teens who already know that they have that obesity in them, and they are viewing the problem of, like, the society is viewing them differently. So already they have that in their mind. So once they are enrolled, they will surely try to build on that. We offer solutions to people who are interested in that.
Okay, but see, even if you say that we have that mindset, right? That even if we know that we are facing problem, we don't try to address it. And why can't you come up, like, I'm counter answering, but why can't you come up with a solution like involving some sports? So it would be fun and they would be also interested, and you will have like same
Yeah,
set of.
Anaya, like instead of putting your opinions in terms of statement, you may put that in terms of questions, right? So that's the beauty of Socratic dialogue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so that was going to be my answer to you, that we can try inculcating some fun activities, or something that can just engage them, keeping in mind the fitness aspect. So they will be burning calories maybe by, I don't know, painting or something. We can come up with some interesting workshop like that. But thank you for pointing that out.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Sabina.
Just Sabina, 1 second. Any cross questions to that? Okay, yeah. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Sabina.
Okay, so you mentioned you will take, assessment with the obesity children. So how will you ensure the data, they are providing are actually accurate?
Okay, clarification, assessment on the workshops that they've been taking, on the plans that they've been following on the app, assessment of that. And yeah, that is the clarification. And to answer your question, how do we, I mean, we can have feedback forms. So if I have to give you an example, one question can be, how confident are you feeling? So a person who comes in the first time, in the first 2 weeks, maybe it's going to be on a scale of like it's going to be 2 on a scale out of 10. But eventually, if they're following the workshops, if they're taking the plan consistently over a period of time, we assume that it may improve. So that can be a tracking system, and it'll serve as a feedback for us, so we know where to improve. So that's the idea of assessments for now.
Okay,
Yes.
so who will like follow-up question on that tracking system? Who is going to fill up that feedback, and who's going to track that? Parent or children?
Tracking will be us, but feedback will be given to everybody involved. So if parents are involved, to them as well, children to them as well. And we can also take feedback from the parties that we're collaborating. So maybe NGOs, yes, and health professionals as well. So all of that feedback is going to help us improve at the end. So yeah.
Any cross questions to that?
Yeah, yes. I just want to ask, like, what age you are, focusing on primarily?
So ideally, we thought of pre-teens, which is, I think, around 12, 13 maybe. Aisha,
9
just
to
correct me if
12.
I'm wrong. Shana.
From 9 to 13.
9 to
9 to
13.
13.
9 to 13.
Okay.
So,
Go ahead,
yes.
Neeraj.
So 9 to 13 children don't have their phones, right?
Which
So
is why
how?
parents will be involved. And feedback, we can come up with creative ways of taking feedback, right? Like maybe if they're in the workshop, immediately we can ask them, or it's an app. So yeah, like we can. As far as the workshop is concerned, it may be in a live session or something like that, so we can take feedback like immediately. How do you feel and everything? And sending the forms also, I mean, we can try that out, like sending one to the parents and just telling them, like, just just let your children fill it or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
sure.
This app is not conventionally for people who are using, means who have the phones or not, right? Because we are emphasizing on obesity, so they use that for that purpose.
Aisha, I believe you had a question.
No, I wanted to add to Riddhi's point. Actually, if we are having live workshops, we can send them a Google form kind of a thing to the students. So immediately after attending the workshop, they can fill that form.
So having that feedback system.
Yeah, so even
Uh,
if they don't have phones, that would be they would
But
be.
has their kids, how will they be able to express their, that words?
In
Okay,
that
On
case,
a form, they are like
sorry.
below 13, yeah, right? 9 to
Yeah.
13. It's like they
How
are
will they express what they feel or what they have?
No, we designed the questions in the feedback form as such, right? Because we know that we are dealing with children. So we designed the questions in such a way. And maybe not giving some, maybe we won't want them to give sentence answers. Like we will give them MCQ, not MCQs, I mean just pointing out on the scales, right?
Okay, in the interest of time, I think we can stop the discussion here. Also, just to add to what Sabina said, it is a delicate age, right? So, because you people are still in the research phase, I think sticking to the ethical guidelines and making sure there is a safe verifiable verifying process in check, because often like in apps like these, there might be people who could engage in bullying. So, like having systems to ensure that there is like a safe environment, that would be important, and I hope you guys can think on that too. So yeah, thank you everybody for the interesting discussions. We can go ahead with the reflections. Who would like to reflect first? Come on guys, take the initiative. What did you learn from today's session? A lot of you I know were doing your first SD.
Okay, so maybe I'll go first. So yeah, this was my first SD also. So during the preparation of this SD and in this session also, the one thing that I was able to get is that I was implementing design thinking, right? So what so far what we have done is that we know the processes and all these things, but when we were preparing for this SD, we get a clearer picture of what design thinking is, and when we go with the whys, right? So during the need finding and all, we had those whys in front of us, and we were going in such a manner. So the takeaway is that I was able to get more clearer with design thinking through its implementation in this product.
That's great, Shahnaz. Thank you so much. And yeah, the more you implement design thinking, the clearer you get the concepts, right? So who else would like to go ahead? Yeah, Riddhi.
so I mean, when we were preparing, I was always like going to the business context of the idea that we came up with. I mean, that was the idea I had associated with in my mind with the design thinking. So that like every idea that comes up, I'm only cross questioning my team that okay, how is it related to business? How are we getting money? But through the discussion and even in the SD, when we asked questions that were little on tangent, I immediately realized that it's not about the business context, it's about implementing so that you solve a problem, and the problem does not have to end up in a product or service every time. So that was a kind of a reminder. So
Interesting view, Riddhi. Thank you so much. Who would like to go next with the reflection?
so the design thinking in we already discussed a lot on design thinking in that what design thinking in is, but when we are preparing for SD and going ahead with our pitches, and when questions come in front, the whole perspective get changed, right? All the whys, the empathy question was asked. That was a great question. And the mind start to work like that only, that mind was in a like in a state that okay, empathy, what empathy is, like in detail the questions of like what did they say is why is empathy and problem statement converging and diverging, everything like became visible when the questions were asked, and that's how the thought process went, and answers were like I tried to figure out the answers that way. So the session was great for me. Got to know a lot about design thinking, got to learn like how to think when you are answering, how to think like it. So that was great.
That's great English. Thinking about the processes. Yes. Who would like to go ahead next?
Yeah, I will go. So my learnings would be like when we in ideation stage, like we put a lot of thoughts, right? It can be any thoughts, like it's not sure that we will get or implement it. So for me, that how to like alter your like your processes for the actual, like how you will alter your processes to solve the actually root cause was my learning from this design thinking process.
That's great. Thank you, Anaya. Who would go next?
Yeah. First of all, are you able to hear me?
Yes, Aryan. And maybe you could tilt your camera a little bit so that we can see your face more. Okay, yeah. Now that's great. Go ahead.
Yeah. Even before it was 100%, and that became 120. But yeah. Anyways, uh, one learning I'll just quickly go was that design thinking needs to be simple in the starting, and then in the iterations you could make it more complex, but in the starting it needs to be simple.
Okay. Thank you, Aaron. Anybody else would like to go ahead with the reflection?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mohit.
So, exactly right. All the steps, they are crucial, and all the steps are, interconnected to each other, right? But what I feel, uh, every step comes down to empathy, right? If we get the empathy right and the problem statement right, I think every step falls into uh, the right place. That's what I think.
Yeah. Thank you, Mohit. One quick insight from the rest of the people. Yeah, Aisha.
Okay. So first, before participating in SD and before preparing for SD, I used to think that I have my design thinking concepts quite clear. But when you apply those concepts to solve a problem, then you try to understand that there are some concepts that you need to get clear. So that is my insight that I got from preparing and presenting.
Saurav, would you like to go ahead next?
Yeah. Yes. So today, like rather than like about from, I also learned about SD, so design thinking, obviously, but more I learned about how to moderate the Socratic dialogue. Right? It was my second moderation, but yeah, like how can we structure the conversation? How can we structure the questions? So that's when I came in the second team speech. I asked them like, what is your problem and what are we trying to solve? Because initially it went on a little bit tangent, so I would take that as a takeaway to moderate the discussion.
Definitely kind of the similar reflection for me, not going off on tangents, because compared to what we did earlier in the design thinking versus what we have done now we have some more perspectives, whether it is from corporate or brand positioning or like just in general. So we have some more ideas and we need to stick to the process rather than going off on tangents. So that is, I think, all of us were experiencing today. So yeah, that's for my reflection. Thank you so much. And thank you everybody who joined us. I hope you guys got some insights from this conversation and dialogue.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.